All right, we're on. Hey, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of Coaching Chat. We have myself, Ryan. We have Adam, Jules, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Simon. How you going, guys?
Good.
Very good.
Very good.
Excellent. Jules, off air, you were having a pretty gnarly chat about something. What was it again?
About fasting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try and keep my diet mostly balanced. I never try to do anything too drastic, but over the weekend, as happens to the best of us, I had an absolute shocker. I reckon I had 7,000 calories yesterday, and
How
probably
many liquid calories?
a lot. No, that was Saturday night. Saturday night, I reckon I had a couple thousand liquid calories, and thus to sort of reset myself for the week and get back focused. I think, well, I didn't really plan to, but I've decided I'm going to do a 24-hour fast. So I had dinner at sort of 6:30 last night, was done by 7. So if I can last till 7 p.m. tonight without eating or drinking any calories besides this black coffee, which is, mostly calorie free, and see how I feel after that. Ryan, you were telling me you've done a longer one, and you said
I've done a few longer ones. It's mainly like once you get past the 24-hour mark, your body kind of just feels all right on it. I guess it's a weird sensation. You get past 24 hours and you start feeling all right. Like, remember, Simon, back in the early days of FSC when I was doing keto and I was doing like 16, and you were just looking at me like, "How you doing this?" And I'd do 24 hours, and like comfortable, like you just you get into that stage. If you got that ketosis going, so you can hang on for ages.
If I can get sort of to 7 p.m. and I'm not too bad, I might sleep on it and then eat it like midday tomorrow. So that'll be 36, I guess. We'll see how we go.
Just depends on what how that's going to affect them gains, bro.
It does. Maybe I have to take some supplements.
Maybe. Oh. We'll get onto that a little bit later, Jules. Adam, how have you been, mate? How was your week?
Yeah, the week it's just started, so
no, last week. It's been a week since the episode came out.
Last week was good. Trying to remember. Nothing too special.
Nothing special. And Simon.
The dark man.
How you go, mate? You got your fancy pant glasses and you're sitting in you got your lighting wrong again.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I couldn't sleep last week. Today I've got the right shoes on, so that's a start. And,
So, Simon, how many hours of sleep did you get in total last week?
I think I worked out over 8 nights. I got less than 30 hours.
Jeez.
That's not good, folks.
How did you sleep on Saturday night, though?
Oh, well, Saturday, I had a good one and got up to 12 hours in one go.
There we go. It's all back. He's back, baby. And that's why he looks so good today in the darkness.
And the group chat was up and about.
I had a cracker of a week, guys. I moved last week, got sick, continued to move. Annika is now like the Black Plague over the weekend. And I got to watch the Suns beat West Coast in an absolute stormer. So,
you beauty.
I think Jules has got a question for you.
Why has he got a question for me? What have I done?
Well, we haven't actually rehearsed this little segment, but this morning had a very knowledgeable Dockers person in the gym, as you know, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
And we were chatting about Fremantle, and we both agreed that Fremantle put up an admirable fight. But
I didn't watch the game.
Sometimes even better than the Dockers winning is actually the Eagles losing, which I take great pride in.
Was Craig on?
Yes, he was. And we were laughing about you being a Gold Coast supporter. And I made a comment that I would be surprised if you could name 5 Gold Coast players.
No, I can't. I can't. Honestly, I can't. The team changes so often. Well, I wouldn't be able to...
But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing, Eagles fans out there listening. The Gold Coast have about 50 fans. Ryan is one of them. He can't even name anyone on the team. And they still beat the premiership favourites. So I think the Eagles have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, mate. I was quite impressed. We'll get on to sport in the news section. But for now, it's time to slide over to our topic of the week, what Jules tried to slide me into. What is supplements? Boys, we're talking about supplements today. Simon, kick us off. You're the one who wanted to talk about it.
Well, I guess everyone comes into the gym wanting to ask what supplements to take, and we always kind of take a stance of the basics. And our basics would be just protein powder, creatine, maybe a bit of magnesium. What else? That's probably about it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very big on when people start the gym and they ask us about it. We go, let's try and get your diet right first and see if what you're lacking, and then we can kind of supplement in with that. Because let's face it, the word is called. They are called supplements for a reason. They aren't called food. So, yeah, like we're not massive on it, are we? That much, Simon? Like we don't have that much stuff in the gym or anything like that. We just have, we've got those key ones that we like to recommend. Like your magnesiums always come up. Protein if they're not getting enough protein in. I mean creatine sometimes, but like that's pretty much it, eh?
Yeah.
I'm more
like you got your coffee and caffeine,
vitamins and things like that.
Yeah, we obviously always prescribe a healthy dose of caffeine. That's definitely number one on the list. But I mean, Adam, you used to work in a pharmacy, so like, what's your? If you would have been around like all the guys. We're still there.
You just completely cut out. But
you cut out.
I think, okay,
Excellent.
so I heard you say the
you
pharmacy.
You used to work in a pharmacy. So, like, how many times did you see guys come in and piss their money down the toilet?
Yeah, like all the time. People were just coming in, buying it based off like an ad they saw on TV or some article. Or the best is when either 60 Minutes or Today Tonight does like a segment, and the next week we've completely sold out of that supplement, but people like genuinely have no idea like why they're taking it. And at the end of the day, if you're not actually deficient in it, like Ryan said, you're just pissing your money down the toilet. Your body's just not going to take it in, and it will just excrete it through that means. So if you are looking at taking vitamins or minerals of some sort, I'd definitely recommend like at least getting blood work of some sort done beforehand, so you know what you're deficient in, whether you can easily just get that through improving your diet, or whether it is worthwhile investing in supplements. Because at the end of the day, it can get pretty expensive as well. So you don't want to put your money.
Simon, you've had your bloods done before. What did it come back with for you?
Mainly, it's kind of the same old stuff: low iron,
vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Yeah, it's probably just those main key markers. So
yeah, the ones that tend to pop up all the time would be the vitamin D, iron, especially in females.
And just magnesium.
Magnesium,
yeah. Those kind of core ones that either get filtered out of your diet nowadays, or people just don't get out in the sun enough. But yeah, Jules.
Hi,
mate. You're itching there. Look at you. He's ready. This is Julian Ward's like bloody ringhouse, the old supplementation. Yeah, you're on the pre-workout, you're on the post-workout, you're in the intermediate workout, you're on the bloody post-workout. Like, hit us up. What do you take?
All right. So
why do you take it?
Yeah,
it's probably a really
that's the better question. Yeah. So as basically all of you have mentioned, if you were to look at a pyramid of importance, and sort of training and diet are the big blocks of the pyramid, supplements are the little top bit and 5% of the total picture. So I would definitely preface it by saying they're not necessary per se. And I'd look more at the vitamins and minerals before I'd looked at the gym supplements. But when people hear supplements, they do think of, your supplement shop sort of supplements and I guess aiding in sort of aesthetics, which they're promoted to do. And I'm not into supplement shops at all. I think that you guys got to remember that they're salesmen and they're not a charity. So if you go in there and you say that, I just want to do A, B, C, they're going to, they're definitely going to lie to you to try and sell you stuff so they can make money, because that's how it works. So what I take is, I take protein every day, and that's just because I track my calories, and for some reason I do struggle to get sort of the top end of the protein that I require for a day. And also my goals are a bit different to everybody else's as well. I'm more of I'm into more of the bodybuilding stuff than probably any of you guys are, so that kind of leads to it a little bit as well. But so I take a protein supplement, a whey protein isolate, WPI and a whey protein concentrate are probably the two main ones.
Can you please explain the difference between them?
Yeah, so obviously I don't know everything about supplements, but I know that the main difference is that a WPC, a whey protein concentrate, it never sits well with people that aren't good with lactose. So it's more of a lactosey, sit in your gut type of protein. In terms of function, they're almost exactly the same. But whey protein concentrates are a little bit harder to digest and they're usually cheaper. So, some might argue that they're worse quality than a WPI. And then the third style of protein that you'll hear about every now and then is casein, I think it's pronounced. It's like a slow release protein that a lot of bodybuilders will take before they go to bed. If you were to take a protein, I'd recommend a WPI, like just a normal whey protein isolate, unless obviously you have a vegan or a vegetarian, different requirements. There's plenty of soy proteins and things like that are on the market as well. So I think that everyone could have a protein, tub of protein handy. And if you feel like you're having a day where you've, sort of almost completely ignored protein, then it's always good to supplement with a shake. That's why it's called a supplement. But I'm not into the meal replacement shakes and things like that. So that's about that for protein. Anything with sort of real low fat, real low carbs, and 20 to 25 grams of protein is a good protein powder. Just because it's more expensive doesn't mean it's better. They all do the same thing for the most part. Just look at the back and don't listen to the guy at the supplement shop when he tells you about the new miracle one. It's weird. Do you want to know a coincidence I've found, Ryan? Yeah. Every time there's a new miracle protein powder out that the guy really recommends, it's always like $50 more expensive than the other ones. It's crazy. I don't get it. It's almost like they're trying to make money. So there's that.
Yeah, there's a good thing behind that saying like the markup on protein is actually like
massive.
Is nothing as it is. Like those cheap proteins and markups. It's not a lot because it's such a saturated market as well. Yeah. And you got to really be careful when you're looking for your proteins that you're not getting one with all the crap filler in it.
Exactly. So the ones that are expensive just have massive markups and they're trying to provide you reasons for that. So protein's probably the number one. The second most researched and scientifically backed supplement, which you guys have both mentioned as well, is creatine. So creatine, at least more so than other supplements, is backed by science, and it definitely does something. Whether it does what you think it's going to do is a different story, and the rate at which it works is different as well. But supposedly there's definitely benefits to, especially to your training when you're taking creatine. I'll give you the Julian Ward 2 big no-nos. 2 massive no-nos. For men, there is not a single testosterone booster that you're going to buy at a supplement shop that'll work. Straight up. It's not going to happen. Everybody will be walking around looking like Ronnie Coleman if you could get over-the-counter test boosters. They're all they're full of natural ingredients that, there might be 9,000 studies on the natural ingredient and maybe 3 of them concluded that there was a possibility that it increases your test. And they take that and they put it in a bottle and they say that'll be $300 for 10 weeks.
And
stay away from test boosters.
Expensive ones as well.
Yeah.
The test boosters are the expensive ones. Yeah. Like they get marked up so big.
What were you going to say?
Fun fact. So like in terms of testosterone, you got to look at it contextually as well. Like your hormones are going to fluctuate at certain points. And just because you have high testosterone at some point doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be beneficial for you. So I was listening to something and they said there's like 2 different ways just naturally that you can boost your testosterone. One is watching back previous highlights of yourself. So if you're an athlete or something and you had like a highlight video of like a performance that you won or something like that, if you watch that will boost your testosterone.
Nah, not many of those out there for me.
And then the second one was like, I don't even know how they did this study, but it was looking at like there was a crying baby nearby a male. And if the male neglected the crying baby, then his testosterone would be boosted. But if he went over to the baby and stopped it from crying, his testosterone would decrease. So it's like, like stuff like that. Like, what is a?
It is. It's mental stimulus leading to hormonal changes.
It's all that kind of stuff.
What we're saying to people, boys, if you want to boost your test
leave
levels,
the baby.
Watch, be a narcissist and watch shit of yourself doing really good stuff or thinking that you're doing really good stuff and neglect children.
Yeah, ignore
exactly.
your kid. So
on that, 2 big Adam tips for the day. What was your second no, Jules?
Let me furthermore on that one. remember how I said that the test boosters are sold on the premise that some studies concluded that there was a probability that it would raise your testosterone?
Yeah.
You don't know the variables of those individual people that did have some results. So if they had watched highlight videos,
Yeah.
kicked
They
their
might be
son in the
neglecting
face.
children all the time. Who
Exactly.
knows?
So stay away from testosterone boosters. Second thing, and I hate to say this to you, and a lot of people are probably watching this hoping that I'm going to say something different. There is not a fat burner pill on the market that works. If there was, I would have abs. Adam would have a 20-pack. Sana would have an 8-pack. No fat
I'd
loss.
have a good rig.
No fat burners work.
Mr.
I'm sorry to
Sloppy
say it. They're the most expensive, and they're the least effective. So my big ticks are whey protein isolate or a vegan alternative. Creatine, especially for vegans. So as you know, you guys probably know, your body produces half the creatine that it would probably ideally have, and the other half is found in red meat and fish. Obviously, vegans, there's a little bit of a problem there. So creatine supplementation for vegans might be more important. Another one that would get a tick from me would be like BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. There's enough science showing that, you know, they promote protein synthesis during a session, which other proteins don't. So they're sort of an intra-workout drink. Again, probably a waste of money, but if you want to be the next Mr. Olympia, and they're pretty cheap as well. So yeah, they're the big tick ones from me. There's another one that a lot of people take that I haven't done enough research on. And I don't know if you guys know. Do you know about carnitine much? Acetyl-carnitine?
No.
Not enough about it, no.
Next week, I'll have a acetyl-carnitine wrap up for you, because I know that, you know, probably 50% of my gym rat mates take it and swear by it, but they're not always the smartest people. So I'll have a recap of acetyl-carnitine for you for next week.
Well,
But yeah,
what's
two
the
no-nos.
What's the worst supplement you've taken?
The worst supplement I've taken, a test booster. I think I felt worse. I think my estrogen went up, I think. Yeah, I tried to test booster once.
To wrap up supplements, what we've got here, I think also it's important to announce, like, well, not to announce, but like say that, you know, most people aren't going to go bad with a bit of magnesium as well.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Like
If
you're looking for something, you're probably good to just hit the magnesium up, see how that makes you feel. Because that stuff's like, you know, there's creatine, then there's probably magnesium on the research scale.
Definitely,
and like,
definitely.
it ain't going to do any harm to you. It's probably going to do more good than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a waste of money at the end of the day. Supplements are a waste of money. You can find almost all that stuff in a good nutritional diet, nutritious, not nutritional. And then, yeah, just the minuscule effects that it would give you, you could probably use your mind to push you to that level anyway if you really wanted to.
And also, like, I mean, Simon's case in point, if you're not someone who's getting 8 hours of sleep and you're trying to mess with supplements, then you're really missing the boat.
Yeah.
Like,
actually, that reminds me.
Sleep is the best supplement, hands down. And
Definitely.
That's free.
And the best recovery tool.
Yeah, best recovery tool, best supplement. It's free.
The milk industry doesn't think so.
We need some milk.
When in doubt, drink milk.
But
to change off this topic, like, so,
hang on, one last thing. Adam reminded me of
Jules,
something.
come on, mate.
Sorry, the pre-workout thing.
So much?
Ryan was saying pre-workout before. People ask me all the time, does pre-workout work? It depends on your definition of work. There is a whole lot of caffeine and a whole lot of beta-alanine in those things. Yes, you feel good. Yes, you get a bit of energy, but just like everything, you crash, and it's very synthetic energy. So you're better off sleeping, eating properly, and having enough energy to do your session like a normal person. Having said that, I take pre-workout. I love the tingles. I get a great but I'm ridiculous, so don't look at me for anything. I'm the test dummy, and you guys are the scientists.
I think like a good point to make is if you're relying on pre-workout to get you through your workouts, then you got to assess your readiness and, you know, you got to self-regulate that session. If you need the pre-workout to actually complete the session, well, you need to scale back that session and actually look at your recovery rather than relying on pre-workout or coffee or whatever it is to get you through. And then I think
Go quickly. I want to ask Simon something.
One quick point to make would be like, if you're like an athlete or something, be very careful.
I think creatine's banned. So.
Because different substances will be banned, and just because it doesn't have like a certain substance on the label doesn't mean it's not in there. So like, be very careful with what you're taking, and double check it with like ASADA and other regulating bodies and stuff like that.
Be aware that whatever you put in your body, you are responsible for. Like the bullshit arguments for athletes bring out. Oh, I didn't know it was in this supplement. You're smart enough. You should figure that out.
Tainted supplements.
So So I saw in the news a boxer has claimed that she failed a drug test because she had sex with her boyfriend and he transmitted the banned substance.
I think the only way to test that hypothesis is one of us has to do it and then see if the results score.
That made the news this week. Some boxer in America was like,
Jeez.
She passed.
Wasn't there another one that was like someone was like, oh, I ate meat from this certain town and they inject their cows with.
Yeah, well, I know like in China, like the Chinese athletes are actually like.
Whoa.
No.
Before you get us regulated again, you said a naughty word last week. Let's not go shaming the Chinese.
No. So this is what they've put in place. Is like they. Like in their sports camps, they make sure the meat, like everything's looked after.
Right.
More than like
what to try and make everyone think that they're not on the gear.
Well, just to make sure to ensure their athletes are eating the right stuff or taking the right stuff in their body. They kind of like quarantine all the meat and everything, so it's not like the locally sourced. They get it from somewhere else.
Well, it doesn't really matter when they're like, well, no, let's not go into that. But anyway, Simon, I just wanted to ask you. You were talking to me the other day, quickly, based on what you've been talking about creatine and diabetes. I just want you to touch on that.
I was trying to read about the diabetes and creatine. I haven't found enough info about it. But essentially, creatine is being looked at more for cognitive ability and memory in older people, and then also as a way to kind of regulate blood glucose sensitivity. There is some stuff on type 2 diabetes, but I haven't found enough on it. But it kind of makes sense with ATP resynthesis that that would help with the cognitive stuff, and also build muscle fibers means your blood glucose is a bit more efficient.
All right, so we'll keep us updated on that. All right, guys, that is enough of that. Let's get on to the news. And that would be where an intro would be if we had any production value at all. All right. So, in the news this week, obviously the best story coming out of this week was the Gold Coast Suns are now the best team in the AFL. They beat the West Coast Eagles on the weekend by quite dominant display. Let's get some more AFL results up. We've got Jules, Freo, didn't have a good week, did they?
We were okay, but another honourable loss, which we've had for many years now. So.
I saw a tweet by someone saying that it may be a bit of a VFL conspiracy.
What was that regarding?
Oh, that was you, mate.
I mean, allegedly there was a few beers in my system when I posted that, so I'd have to look into that. But yes, I did say that we were robbed due to Vic bias, and obviously Brisbane are not a Victorian team, so continue.
Well playing in Queensland, Victorian bias as always. So we had St Kilda got over the Doggies. The Swans narrowly dropped it to Essendon. We've got GWS dropping it to North Melbourne. The game of the weekend, the Gold Coast Suns, 90-46 over West Coast. Port Adelaide take out the Crows. Carlton and Melbourne had a freaking cracker, actually. 1 point in that. Melbourne won.
Wasn't there a
Fremantle dropped the ball.
There.
Geelong got up, and then we had a draw in the first game back.
Collingwood and
I
Richmond.
actually watched from the pub and was bitterly disappointed with.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't great.
in other news, we have rugby unions back in New Zealand. They had a sellout game for the Blues versus the Hurricanes, and then the Highlanders and the Chiefs had a good crack as well. I would just like to point out, I think there must have been some real good work done by the S&C departments and the sports guys back there, because there hasn't been that many soft tissue injuries in round one. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see how it goes from there. But most of the soft tissue injuries in the AFL over the weekend were probably pretty contact related, apart from the one guy who just tore his patellar tendon. But otherwise, it was just a bunch of landing mechanics issues and stuff like that. Well, on the grand scheme of things, there wasn't many hamstrings blown out. What's good to see.
Yeah, very good to see. Yeah, there was a few ankles and a few knees from sort of jump landing tech and stuff like that, which, you know, it happens at the best of times anyway. I was pretty surprised to see no soft tissue, but I'm thinking maybe that, I guess, as
The
the
cumulative
season...
load over time
Yeah,
might be
exactly.
something that we need to look at. But
So,
good result for, you know, in terms of rehab and, you know, being ready. And the Super Rugby was just insane this weekend. If everyone hasn't watched the New Zealand Super Rugby League, it was absolutely banging, as you probably could expect. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. But moving on, it is cool. Anything else? Anyone else got any news?
nope, that's it.
No, not that I can think of.
Simon, you got any news?
Nope.
Any soccer news?
Where do you get those
Oh,
glasses
EPL's
from,
back.
mate? We might be able to get a sponsor.
Simon told me the EPL's back this
Yeah,
week.
EPL starts this week.
This week, who's on? Everyone?
Everyone, basically. Yeah.
The
Excellent.
soccer teams.
The Festival of Football is back, baby. Let's go. All right. Now it is quiz time.
Ooh.
Intro. To get sorted out in the near future.
I'm undefeated.
All right, we've got 10 questions. So we have Jules undefeated at this point in time. We got to go fast, guys. I don't want any dead space. I want, you know, we need answers. We need answers.
I got
Okay,
this.
so
Let's go.
here we go. We've got pop culture trivia today. Okay.
Remember, your name's the buzzer, right? That's how it works?
Yeah, remember, Simon, as last time,
Why?
You don't just say the answer.
say your name and then answer the question, please.
All right, let's go.
All right. Question number 1 for 4 points.
Ooh.
What are the names of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's children?
Or Adam.
Adam,
I know one's North.
1 is North. Yes, that is 1 point to Adam.
Jules.
Yes.
If Adam can't get the second one, he's got an opportunity though.
No. I don't know.
Is it North and Chicago? Is that the other kid's name?
Oh,
Chicago
yeah.
is number 2. 1 point to Jules. There are 2 more
Wait,
children.
Oh.
do they have another 2 kids? I
Oh,
thought
that's
they
it.
had
That's 2 more kids, yeah.
East, West? I don't know.
No, East and West is not. All right, that's it. The other, so 1 point each. We have North, Saint, Chicago, and I think Parmesan it is. Plasma.
Okay.
All right.
Annika's gonna recheck me. That one.
Is it Parmesan?
What?
Well, how can I say pop? How do you pause and psalm?
Psalm.
Yeah,
Like
like you know
oh,
they read at church.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You learn something new, right?
All right, 1 each. Me and Komatsu.
All right. What is Joe Exotic, aka the Tiger King's real name?
Nothing.
Come on.
It's a German last name or something, isn't it? Joe. I don't know.
Joe is close.
Oh, it's
If you
not even
think
Joe.
biblical.
Joseph.
Joseph. No one said their name, but
Adam.
Oh,
Joseph.
Joseph, Allen, something, Passon. What a
Yeah.
weird name.
yeah, it's a hard one. Is that a point for Adam? That was a bad answer.
No, that's no
No,
one gets a
no.
point for that.
How many kids, and bonus points for the names, how many kids does Angelina Jolie have?
No idea.
I
Jules.
just don't care enough about this stuff.
Jules.
Jules,
It's got to be 5. Has to be.
it's not 5, no.
Gosh.
Adam,
Yes,
6.
it is 6. 1 point to Adam. Could you name any of the children's names?
What's like a generic name? No,
They're not
famous.
generic
They're
names
famous. They
at
wouldn't
all.
have generic names. Oh, who knows?
No idea.
All right, who knows is not one of the children's names, but good
I wouldn't be
guess.
surprised.
We've got Maddock, Pack, Zahara, something else, Knock, and Vienna.
Okay. That sounds good.
I'm
2-1
going
to
to scroll
Adam.
through some of these questions because they're not very good.
That happens.
Write your
All
own
right,
quiz.
here we go. What modern day item made a cameo in the final seasons of Game of Thrones?
Oh, I didn't watch that.
What modern day what?
Modern day
Oh,
item.
Adam?
Oh.
Adam, yes.
Wasn't there like a water bottle or something?
No, not a water bottle.
Hyman,
Oh,
coffee cup.
And what? Do you know the brand?
He's got to get a point for that anyway, surely.
Well, unless you have a better answer.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Starbucks. A Starbucks
Yeah,
cup.
that's
1 point to Simon.
All right, 1 point. Oh, 1 point, 1 point, and 2 to Adam. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. How many Harry Potter books and movies are there? 1 point for the amount of books, 1 point for the number of movies.
Jules.
There's a hint in that. Yeah, Jules.
Jules. I think that there's 6 movies, and that means there's 7 books.
No,
Oh shit!
not even logical in your answer.
I thought there was more books than movies.
No, they finished it.
Oh,
It's
I
all
don't know.
done.
So there's the same amount or different?
6 and 6.
There's a different amount.
5
I'll
and
give it
5
to
and
you. There
6.
are more movies than there are books.
Simon
Simon said 5 and 6.
Simon says no, it's not right.
Right.
Adam,
I want to say like 7 and 8.
he's got it.
Oh, who is this guy?
2 points to Adam.
There was that many books. Oh my
I don't know anything about this stuff as well. This is amazing.
god. Yeah.
What are you up to?
It's
is that
4,
4?
1 and 1. So there's 4 more
1-1.
questions.
Oh, we're in big trouble, boys. Big
If he
trouble.
gets
We've
the
got
next
3 more
one, then he
questions.
wins.
3 more
Yeah.
questions to go. I've just
4
got to
more
find them.
questions.
What movie kicked off the Skywalker saga in 1977?
Oh, fuck no.
Star Wars.
Anyone?
Um,
Adam.
Simon.
Simon.
Simon, sorry. Speak up, mate.
Star Wars Episode 4.
It's a good answer, but I was looking for the name.
Jules.
Yes, Jules.
The Phantom Menace.
No, that
No.
wasn't that one. That was a correct Star Wars name, but no, not that one. Adam,
No.
I
I
want
don't
to
even
go
know
to
the
the
names of any of them.
Right, it is A New Hope.
Oh, yes.
I
of
give
course.
Simon a point for that. Didn't he get the right one?
He did get, yeah, he does get a point for that.
All right, that's good. He can keep Adam from winning.
All right, the next question.
There's 3 more to go. My streak is over, I think.
What tech entrepreneur named his son XAE
Jules.
A-12?
Ah, you beat
That
me.
was me. Elon
Oh,
Musk.
Elon Musk, correct.
how do you
Jules is back in
pronounce
the
it?
game.
I'm back in.
How do you pronounce it, Jules?
XXX Temptation. Or...
It's pronounced Kyle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think,
Was it?
yeah, I think the government overruled it, and so
Yeah, they
put
said
it-
you can't name
Can't
your
name
you
your
can't give
kid.
your kid a binary number as your
Yeah,
name. Well, probably fair to keep him away from getting bullied.
yeah.
What's the score at?
You're 2.
4-2-2.
Yeah,
Ah.
Simon's 2. I'm 4.
So
Which
2 more
spot
questions.
pop star burnt down a home gym with a candle?
Oh.
Did this happen recently?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have
sheesh.
no idea.
No idea. Okay,
No
I'll take
idea.
Jules, I'll take a random guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Pop star, gym.
She. It is a
She's probably
girl.
fit. No,
Been
wasn't lady.
known to be a little crazy at times.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jules is answering.
Katy Perry.
No. Adam.
He'll get this
Taylor
freak.
Swift.
Is he Googling?
No, not Taylor Swift.
Right.
Simon, thinking back to your youth. Back in the day,
Oh,
was a young-
I know who.
young- a young girl may have shaved her hair off.
I
Britney
can't
Spears.
say
I knew
that.
Oh, Britney
You can't say
Spears.
that.
Britney Spears! She burnt down a gym with a candle. Have you guys seen that video?
No.
No.
Go watch it. It is hilarious.
Did she do it on purpose or
I can't
accidentally?
believe this is absolutely rigged. My streak's been taken away from me.
Last question for the tie, and then we go to a tiebreaker.
Ooh.
Okay, I can't win. Simon, I help you.
What movie in 2019 topped Avatar as the highest grossing film of all time?
Jules.
Adam.
Jules, you're on.
I don't even know if I know this. Was it what year did you say?
Last year.
2019.
There was some good movies last year, wasn't there?
Come on, mate. Hurry up.
What was the big movie? I don't even know. Is there no?
You're out. Adam.
Avengers Endgame.
100% correct, and that is Adam is the new
Let's
reigning
go!
and defending quiz champion.
We
Thank
need
you
like
guys
a
for tuning
title
in.
belt or something.
Oh,
Thank
no.
you. Yeah, we do need a belt, but we can't have a belt because it's online. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I will be featuring on Sean's podcast from Momentum Active. That's the name of his gym, yeah, Adam?
Yep.
I always call it Movement Active for some reason. Momentum
The
Active.
jumper up, shout
Also
out
on the
Momentum.
Ask Woodford Show, episode number 64, coming to you in some digital form soon. As always, guys, stay strong, stay safe, stay connected, and
Be
Be
formidable.
formidable.
thanks for the effort again, guys. Thank you very much.
Good work, Simo.
Right. How do we close this bad boy down? Stop recording.